Good day, I am Vone Smith and I'm here today to talk about poverty in South Africa. Poverty is an increasing issue that needs to be addressed and really fast. Poverty is defined by the dictionary as the state or condition of having little or no money, goods or means of support. Other terms that refer to poverty include destitution, need, want, hardship, beggary, scarcity, insufficiency, inadequacy, absence, and lack. These terms are rather horrifying to the ear, but it is a reality so many people face daily. This leads to the question, what is poverty really? It's not just a thing, it's a condition that people suffer from, an unjustifiable lifestyle forced upon people by their circumstances, and it has caused so much pain and suffering. Poverty is a serious moral wrong that clearly undermines the human dignity, and it poses a major threat to a sense of self-worth as well as their self-respect. These days, just because people have less, they are treated as less. The gap between the rich and the poor has never been wider, and the width just keeps increasing. The thing about poverty is that there is no excuse as to why these people are finding themselves in these hard conditions. Poverty affects people right across the world and not just in South Africa. Poverty is an injustice to an individual as well as the community. According to a news report on poverty in South Africa, the number of South Africans living in poverty has drastically increased since 2010. In 2010, 20% of South Africa's population fell below the poverty line, and it has further increased to 21.5% in 2014. With the rates going on like this, who knows what the future may hold? Some of us may not know how poverty occurs because most of us are unaware of it and are unaffected by it. But there are so many reasons as to how and why poverty occurs, and the most prevalent reason would be corruption. And corruption occurs when the government does not use the money responsibly. They rather use it for their own benefit. The South African government needs a miracle to escape the accusations that are being thrown their way. Corruption has the power to destroy trust between the government and its people, which is happening in South Africa. The government play a rather big role in poverty. This proves that poverty is not part of our natural world. It's man-made. Poverty being man-made proclaims that it can be overcome and eradicated if we take action together. We can make a change as an individual and as a community. Poverty anyway should be a concern for human beings everywhere. It's not a one-man show, and it calls for collective human action. What I'm trying to say is that we should rethink and revise the goals and the intent that the government has and stand together as a community, as a country. We should insist on help for full eradication of poverty, which should include diverse human interventions that involve everyone: the rich, the poor, experts, lay people, political leaders and their followers, global institutions, local committees, as well as aid givers and aid receivers. Poverty is an unacceptable condition for any human being to live in, and the link between poverty and equality is heartbreaking. Poverty has such a negative impact on the lives of so many people, and not just in South Africa, but in the world. Poverty must first and foremost be eradicated for its inhuman consequences, because these consequences make it so much more difficult for people to build flourishing lives. Money has become such a major factor in our lives, and it tends to blind us to the blessings we don't even pay for. And don't let money, status, or anything for that matter blind you to the person behind the mask of poverty. They are human beings just like any other, educated or not. Eliminating poverty may seem like an impossible task, but are we just going to sit back while this injustice is taking place right in front of us? We should not turn our backs on people who are facing hardships. Never forget that even alone, someone can make a difference, even if it's so small. But as a community working together, we can make more of a difference than anyone can ever imagine. It won't be an easy task, and the problem won't be resolved in a week, a month, or even years to come, but a small difference can go a long way. We had a role model, Nelson Mandela, who raised his voice in the name of those suffering from poverty and hunger. He mentioned in a speech he delivered on the subject of poverty that while poverty exists, there is no freedom. People are enslaved and broken by poverty. It's unfair and should be against the law. Poverty is unnecessary. We should seek justice as an entity. Thank you so much for listening.